Welcome people, how you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you're having a great Father's Day. To all the fathers out there anyway. I just googled, obviously it's Father's Day here. I googled to see whether it's Father's Day over there in America as well, in the US. And it is. But I know that Mother's Day isn't the same day. So I wonder why Father's Day is and Mother's Day isn't. I'm going to have to look into that. A bit weird, isn't it? But anyway, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And happy Father's Day to my dad, if you're watching this one. Right, watch Americans explode after the British wiped out all of the city's beer supplies. Which city would this be? I know Boston had all the Scots there drinking all the beer. England was in Dallas a couple of days ago, I believe. We won against Croatia. I'm going to watch something about that. I put something in there. Maybe watch later about that one. English people in Dallas, Texas. But yeah, for now, we'll get on with this. This is on Viewpoint. I'll give it a subscribe. I'll give it a like. Right, let's get on with it. Yeah, right, before we start though, drinking culture over here is a bit mental. Overall, the British do drink a lot. English drink hell of a lot, but the thing about the Irish and Scots drinking more, I probably think they do, but the English drink hell of a lot too. The drinking culture is mental. Most people, very young, early teens start drinking on the local park benches and stuff like that in the pubs by the time they're 16, 17, and by the time 25, the average person's had enough of alcohol and don't go out to the pub so much anymore. But yeah, no, it is a crazy thing, the drinking culture here. But yeah, let's see how the Americans are handling it. Good for business, though, isn't it?
So let me get this straight. You're telling me that Scottish soccer fans drank all the beer in Boston?
If you ever had any doubt about how much the Brits can drink, watch this video. The Americans never stood a chance.
I tried to warn the Americans about the British. I tried my absolute best, but apparently no one listens to me.
Oh, I don't know what this guy's called. I've seen him quite a lot. I've watched some of his videos. An American in Britain.
I said that when the World Cup started, the Brits would go over to the U.S. and drink places dry. I said that. And guess what? They have done that very thing. We have the Scots up in Boston that have drunk places dry to the point where they're scrambling to figure out where they can find more booze for these folks to drink. Samuel Adams has run out of their lager. They're out of Tennent's. Nobody's drinking Bud Light, though, because it's water.
Well, I've never had a Bud Light. I don't drink anymore at all. I wasn't a responsible drinker, so I knocked it on the head years and years ago, about 7 or 8 years ago now. But is Tennent's a big drink in America, or did they get that in for Scots? Because the Scottish do love the Tennent's.
And they're not the only ones running
folks to drink. Samuel Adams has run out of their lager. They're out of Tennent's. Nobody's drinking Bud Light, though, because it's water.
And they're not the only ones running dry.
Pretty much everything. We ran out of everything. Tennent's being number one.
White Bull Tavern may have run out of Scotland's iconic Tennent's beer, but that didn't stop the party.
The fans have been unbelievable. They're great. They're fun.
I wonder if they did get Buckfasting. If anybody knows, it's some sort of tonic wine or something. Buckfast. I only ever drank it once. It's pretty damn strong stuff. I think it's like 14-15%. I'm not sure, but I'm wondering if the places that knew that it was getting Scotland fans in, whether they got Buckfast as well, because that is a massively famous drink from there too.
And they're drinking, partying, having a great time.
The Scots are absolutely incredible, and so many Americans are finally getting to see what I've been trying to say for a long time. British folks are incredibly kind and an incredibly good time, especially if they have a couple of pints in them.
So the question is, do you think 1 million Brits could outdrink 50 million Yanks?
Did you guys hear Boston run out of beer? As you know, we are having the World Cup here in the United States, and Scotland, right now, they're located in Boston area, and they ran out of beer. Good for them. They
just reminded me, right, the last one I did, I couldn't tell whether some geezer was being serious talking about the invasion of the Scots and that. It turned out it was sarcasm, massive sarcasm too. To me, it seemed like he was genuinely going on about, oh, we don't like it, but it was sarcasm. He was saying, oh, the Scots have come here to invade, but the way he was saying it.
United States and Scotland, right now,
thanks for letting me know
in the comments in Boston area, and they ran out of beer. good for them. They just, I don't know, they beat a record, I guess. As you know, Boston is one of the big cities for St. Patrick's Day. And they're drinking more than St. Patrick's Day. So Boston is known for drinking. You know, those people get up in the morning, first thing they do is drink. And Scotland came by and drained Boston beer. That's that's pretty cool.
The Scottish fans, they fucking did it. They drank all the beer in Boston, you guys. I was joking that they were going to do it, and they fucking did it. I mean, I think there was like Budweiser left over. But
I bet everyone thought there was joking, but no. It is a serious thing. It's depressing over here. Only thing that gets people through life is drink. I'm telling you. I'm trying to think of a reason why drinking culture is so massive over here. We was drinking mead and stuff like that before water was drinkable, when water was still killing you. Perhaps it's in our DNA. I do not know. Man, you saying that, that's your DNA too, isn't it? You come from over here. I don't know. Because it's a small island. I haven't got a clue.
They fucking did it. They drank all the beer in Boston, you guys. I was joking that they were going to do it, and they fucking did it. I mean, I think there was like Budweiser left over, but let's be fair. There's no good beer. There's no good beer. So,
I'm sorry. They even I didn't have those Brits down as really picky drinkers. If all the boozer's gone, you start with the ones you prefer and work your way from to that's not so good, but I'll still drink it, sort of thing. But is Bud Light really that bad that even the Scots left it?
Americans cannot keep up with the sesh. The Scots, they set a goal for themselves and they achieved it. That's so much drinking. That is, and you know, like all the bars, they probably ordered more because they're like, oh, there's a lot of Scottish people coming, and they didn't order enough. And it's not like Boston is not a light drinking place. It's not like Utah. It's got Irish people in it, Irish Boston people, so they already drank a lot. So
right on Utah.
Holy shit. Holy shit. That was an epic sesh, you guys. Congratulations. America, do better. I'm kidding. You don't actually have to match them. No means no.
How much beer can these Scottish fans be drinking? I don't understand. How much beer do you have to drink for a bar to run out? Aren't they kegs?
You've also got to take into account it's not just the adults drinking all that alcohol. You're probably just thinking it's the adults there. The bloody kids will be necking all that booze too. Telling you.
Aren't there kegs? Crazy. I think we simply aren't drinking enough in Toronto.
Someone please do a wellness check for me and check on Scottish soccer fans in Boston right now, because apparently they've drank every beer in Boston this week. Until this year, the Scottish national team hadn't made a World Cup since 1998, and well, the Scottish fans are making up for about 30 years of lost time.
Yeah, that's something I read in the comments. I do read all my comments. I can't always reply to them all. Impossible, but I do read them all. And so I did say that the reason why perhaps the Scots are being the way they are, being so, I don't know, energetic in that, because it is a massive time for them. As he's just said, it's been like 30 years since they've done anything big. If this is your first time here, I don't follow football like that. It's just World Cup when England play usually that I'll watch a little bit. But yeah, it makes sense. Scotland haven't really been there for a long time. Apparently, he's just said it as well, 30 years. That's kind of what you said in the comments too when I read it.
The Samuel Adams Tap Room in downtown Boston completely ran out of their signature Boston lager after Scottish fans drank nearly 90 kegs. 90! The brewery said that Scottish fans consumed 4 times more beer than they normally sell during a major holiday weekend. Jesus. And it definitely wasn't just the Sam Adams Tap Room. Another Boston bar that's been open for over 30 years said they'd never seen anything like it. Their exact quote, "We tripled St. Patrick's Day." Think about that. They tripled St. Patrick's Day in Boston. There's a lot of beer flowing on that day, let me tell you.
So who does drink the most? And he's gone right out of the Brits, right? Scottish, Welsh, Irish, or us English. The top two is probably going to be Scotland and Ireland for the drinking. The Welsh and us English do drink a hell of a lot, but it looks like after the World Cup, Scotland's going to be known for the most heavy drinkers now. It was always Ireland that was known for it, to me anyway. But
Scotland probably won't win this World Cup, but they've definitely won the hearts of everyone who has watched them enjoy the hell out of this World Cup. And that absolutely counts for something.
The fact that Scottish fans just drank all the beer in Boston is the most funny thing I've ever seen. You know when people say, oh my god, we're going to Miami, Miami is not ready for us. I think Scotland fans are the only people in this world that when they say a place is not ready for them, they mean it, okay? I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. That is so hilarious. Miami, watch out. By the way, just going to throw it out there, the last time I was in Miami, there was I think it was in the Walmart in Miami, they actually sell Iron Brew in one of the international food aisles. They also sell Tunnocks tea cakes. So if any of the Scotland fans or the Tartan Army, when they get to Miami, they see this Walmart in the downtown of Miami, I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm positive. Somebody will need to fact check me on it, but I was there, I seen it, I bought an Iron Brew when I was there in like 2022 or 2023, so go check that out. But yeah, watch out for the Tartan Army, this is going to be wild. And imagine Brazil and Scotland fans in the same city. It's going to be Carnival 2.0 on steroids.
Apparently, a bunch of bars and stores ran out of beer because there were so many Scottish people there visiting for the 2026 World Cup. And they were drinking so much beer that a bunch of places just completely ran out of it. They're saying that the alcohol sales tripled what Boston would normally do on St. Patrick's Day. Do you understand how much alcohol needs to be consumed to triple the amount of alcohol sales that Boston has on St. Patrick's Day? Look, I've been to Boston on St. Patrick's Day. It is not one of those cities where they don't drink that much. Pretty much all they do is drink. It is literally one of my favorite places to be on St. Patrick's Day because they drink so much. And you're telling me that a bunch of people from Scotland came and drank the city dry? Look, I don't care who you are or where you're coming from. That is impressive. Yes, there are plenty of great drinking stories out there, but this may go down in history as one of the best ones ever. You came to a city and completely drank it dry, and that city was Boston. To all the Scottish people out there, I just want to say I am extremely impressed.
Is Boston known for... I've been checking out Jack Ainsley's travels, and he's been going places like New Orleans and stuff like that, and that's known for a bit of a party drinking place, people were saying in the comments. But is Boston known as well? Is it one of the more known drinking party places?
Good for you.
That's what I'm trying to say, I think.
No Scotland, no party. That's right. And how many more beers do you drink at Boston? Oh, at least about 400-500 beers you have here, folks. How many beers do you think you guys have drank thus far in Boston? Today? Yeah, today. 10? Think you could outdrink the Norwegians? I hear they're in town. They're kind of... Where are they? Oh, do you like my kilt? Beautiful, he says. Let's go. No Scotland, no. Yeah.
So I just came back to the bar after a weekend away from Boston. I've only seen a couple of the games in the city.
And they don't physically run out properly, where they have to start turning people down. I haven't heard that yet. Is he about to say this, where people are actually getting turned down and none left?
But I hear everybody's running out of beer.
Well, I did hear the woman earlier say that there's only Bud Lights left. But no, that'd be carnage. You'd have to go to Walmart and get beer. Actually, can you buy beer from Walmart? Because a lot of states have separate shops, don't they, to get alcohol from, not the normal supermarket.
Bar after a weekend away from Boston. I've only seen a couple of the games in the city. But I hear everybody's running out of beer. I hear all the bars are running out of beer. So let's see how we survive the night. Will we keep the beer in stock?
All right, listen, they've ran out of beer in Boston. Now, I was a server in college, and I know that those servers, bartenders, and barbacks are going home, and they are dreaming about work. They have gotten all of their steps in for the entire week in one shift, and they did their entire bicep workout in the first 10 minutes because they had to change the keg 5 times. So I know when they go home, they are exhausted to the extent that they dream about work. They dream about card readers not working. They dream that they are the only person who showed up for the shift, and there is a sea of men in kilts and bagpipes, shoulder to shoulder, singing and chanting, "We want beer. What do you mean there's only Bud Light left?" The computers go down. It doesn't even matter that there's no space at the bar or in the bar or any empty tables. The host keeps giving you more and more customers, and you wake up in a cold sweat and have to go to work and do it all over again. So you never truly get a break. Now, I went to Bible college. A lot of people don't know this. I also went to church camp every summer, and I went to church 3 times a week. So if there's one thing I know how to do, it's pray. So I think that we need to say a little prayer for them. Let's hold hands. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we come before you today with a matter of great urgency and possible national significance. Please place your protective hand over the servers and bartenders of Boston, who have been bravely standing on the front lines while what appears to be an entire nation of Scots descend upon their taps. Grant them strength in their pouring arms, patience in their spirit.
I nearly said a minute ago, where have they all come from anyway? I didn't realise there was that many Scottish in Scotland.
Boston, who have been bravely standing on the front lines while what appears to be an entire nation of Scots descend upon their taps. Grant them strength in their pouring arms, patience in their spirit, and the wisdom to answer the same question for the 437th time. What do you mean we're out of beer? May their kegs somehow multiply like the loaves and fishes, and their ice bins remain.
So I'm getting now. I should have done earlier, but there was points where they literally ran out and had to turn people away. But in Boston, how hard is it to get alcohol? Is there liquor stores nearby? Can you just like cross a road from one of the bars that you're in and pick some up if they've run out at the pub?
Full, and their card readers to continue functioning. We ask that comfort be provided to all who arrive seeking a pint, only to discover that the Scots have in fact drunk it all. May they find alternative beverages and the courage to carry on. Finally, Lord, watch over the Scots themselves. Keep them hydrated, keep them merry, and perhaps encourage them to leave just one keg for everyone else. Amen.
Are you following or watching any of these soccer games? Me personally, I'm not. I just don't watch a lot of TV. But I did read that the Scottish fans take things to a whole new level. They are drinking Boston dry. They literally, what was it, Sam Adams, their bar, their tap room that they have in Boston, that location, they drank them all out of their Boston lager. They had to have a special delivery sent in Saturday morning to keep up with the pace of them drinking.
So
and they said that they drank, the Scottish fans have drank 4 times the volume of Boston lager that would normally be served on a 4-day weekend for the 4th of July. They're saying everywhere. All the bars are running out of beer. One location said they completely drank us dry. We had absolutely nothing left. Another location said they drank everything except the Bud Light. I don't know what that says about Bud Light, but they said that was the only thing that they had left to drink was Bud Light.
Is it the actual drink itself, or is it connection to what happened with that person that was promoting? I can't remember, it went downhill. That person that did that weird thing, doing that day in the life of a woman, that did the advertisement. That might be the reason why Scots are not buying it, because it's linked to that. Not just because it's not a particularly good beer. As I said, I've never had it. I don't know if it's a decent beer or not.
But, man, I mean, I think they need an award for that. I mean, if you're drinking that location dry, can you imagine the revenue that's being brought in? I mean, that's a wonderful thing for these retailers. I mean, that's huge. If they're drinking so much beer, and as long as they're not destroying anything, that's even better. But heck yeah, dude, give the Scottish an award for drinking us dry, baby. I didn't think that was possible, but hey, I'm proven wrong all the time. Like always, love you, mean it. Peace out.
Y'all, I need somebody from Boston to explain something to me.
Hey, you probably know this anyway, don't you? 'Cause you're on the internet and you watch internet things. But that is completely different over there to it is, yeah. See, me doing that's actually swearing. So he basically told me to fuck off. I wonder, I don't know whether this is true, this, being a swear here, right? I think it's something to do with French, when they used to capture people back in the days with the bow and arrows, when they was having wars and that. They used to chop off them fingers so they couldn't use the bows anymore. Bow and arrows anymore. I don't know if this is true or not, but yeah, ones that hadn't been captured were running around doing that. Look, I got my fingers. It makes sense, but whether that's true or not, I do not know.
How in the devil did y'all almost run out of beer? Because according to the news, Scotland's been in town for approximately 5 minutes and they've already achieved something the British Empire never could. They conquered Boston. Y'all, the Tartan army showed up for the World Cup and immediately started treating that city like it was an all-you-can-drink historical reenactment. These are not my allegations. These are Boston's allegations, because apparently Scottish fans, they drank so much beer that bars started running out. Not one bar either, multiple ones. Sam Adams reportedly had to schedule emergency deliveries. Emergency deliveries. Do you understand how insane that is? That's like showing up at Disney World and them running out of them little mouse ears. That's your thing. You're literally the beer people. Somewhere in Boston, a brewery executive just looked out a window and whispered, "Oh, dear God, they've reached the lager." My favorite part is one of the Scottish fans saying they went into a tavern and all that was left was Bud Light. Not because Bud Light did anything wrong, but because he said it like a survivor describing the aftermath of a natural disaster. There was nothing left. Pause for dramatic effect. All they had was Bud Light. Y'all Boston bars are saying that sales have tripled. St. Patrick's Day, triple. Do you know how difficult it is to outdrink St. Patrick's Day? That's like somebody showing up at Thanksgiving and eating 3 turkeys by themselves. At some point, a bartender has to stop serving drinks and start filing incident reports. And then, after draining half the city's beer supply, these people grabbed bagpipes and marched to Fenway Park. Of course they did. Because if you're going to create an international beverage emergency, you might as well provide your own band, your own soundtrack. Can you imagine being a Boston resident?
Scots go nowhere without someone following
people
the
in kilts.
bagpipes.
Bagpipes are playing. The beer's gone. Nobody knows where they came from. It sounds less like a football tournament and more like Scotland successfully opened a portal. And here's the thing. Every report says they've been fantastic, friendly, fun, just having the time of their lives, which honestly is one of my favorite parts of the World Cup, because sometimes the best stories aren't what happens on the field. Sometimes it's thousands of people traveling across an ocean to support their team and accidentally causing a regional beer shortage. That's the kind of international diplomacy I can get behind. Although if Scotland keeps winning, Boston may need FEMA assistance by next week, because they're still got another match coming, and judging by the panic in these news reports, local breweries are currently working.
Wouldn't that be crazy if somehow FEMA did have to step in? That, do you know what? I'll probably wake up tomorrow and maybe something like FEMA stepped in because of beer crisis.
Working around the clock like they're preparing for a hurricane, except a hurricane is wearing a kilt and playing bagpipes and asking where the nearest pub is. Welcome to the World Cup, Boston. May God have mercy on whatever beer is left in the Scottish.
I'm so glad that this happened over there, especially when I've started this channel, because the camaraderie, the love that's shown from all sides, and that it's amazing. Also, I've seen the Japanese teams and that. Right, when I've not been reacting to these, I've been watching a few myself for my own entertainment as well. But yeah, it's been nothing but love. I've not seen any trouble or anything whatsoever. But everyone getting on, absolutely great.
Fans drink all the beer in Boston. Now, if you told me they drank all the beer in like Raleigh, North Carolina, I'd be like, okay, they drank all the beer in Boston?
At this point, I'm getting it that Boston is known for its drinking.
One of my favorite quotes from the Scottish fans was, "Yeah, they ran out of beer. All they had left was Bud Light." That fucking horse piss. Oh my God, though. They drank all the beer in Boston. This is like the summer of Pokemon Go. Like, everybody's just having fun. Everybody's just having fun and enjoying things and getting to know each other. Yeah, there's fucking chaos. Yeah, there's horrible things, but the World Cup TikTok is so healing. I love it. Everything about it has been so beautiful. They drank all the beer in Boston, though, man. That's fucking awesome. That's hilarious. That is so funny. All the beer in Boston?
Fans, Scots, coming to getting interviewed and being like, they run out the beer. All they have is Bud Light, which is a huge slap in the face to Bud Light. Having the city run out of beer, where they had to switch to harder liquors until they got emergency, and which is something that I didn't even know that they did, emergency cases of beers from their manufacturing that arrived, what, yesterday?
Makes sense. We've got some in storage for emergencies. You'd expect them to have a bit of a backlog. Is that the right word to use?
It's an insane line. And seeing the Scots in Boston, all the videos of them, freaking hilarious. I feel like they're a lovely people. If I ever visit the UK, I've always wanted to, but if I visit the UK, I may have to visit Scotland because they just seem like such authentic and cool people.
Seriously, if you had told me a group of football fans could practically put an entire city's pubs on emergency alert, I would have thought you were exaggerating. Turns out, not even close. Every day, while other fans are calling it a night and heading back to their hotels, the Scots seem to have a completely different game plan. The party just keeps going and going and going. At this point, some locals are looking around, wondering if Boston has enough beer left for everyone else. One fan even joked that they need official confirmation from the mayor that the city isn't about to run out of alcohol. And honestly, after hearing these numbers, that doesn't sound completely unreasonable.
At the end of the World
Another
Cup,
Scottish supporter casually explained that he and his friends stopped by a bar for a couple of pints. A couple. They ended up staying for 20.
See, that's only a recent thing that I've heard Americans saying pints. I've always said, I heard them say on TV and news. TV and movies back in the day when I watched TV and movies. Never heard an American say, "Oh, get us a pint," or "I'm off for a pint." It's always a beer. So hearing Americans say pint now, which I've heard now for at least a couple of years on YouTube, I don't know, I like it. It's weird, but I like it.
Another Scottish supporter casually explained that he and his friends stopped out of alcohol. And honestly, after hearing these numbers, that doesn't sound completely unreasonable. Another Scottish supporter casually explained that he and his friends stopped by a bar for a couple of pints. A couple. They ended up staying for 20. Imagine being the bartender.
See, that's the word every Brit says, surely you do when you go to the bar. It's like, I'm off for a couple. A couple doesn't mean 2 or 3. It just means until either your pockets are empty or you don't remember anything else. See, no. A couple's just a word to say. You can't put a number on it. I'm off for 8 pints. You can't really say that. It doesn't sound right. I'm off for a couple.
Watching someone order beer number 20 and thinking, so we're still going then? Some pubs have become so familiar with the Scottish fans that staff already know many of them by name, which is impressive considering they've only been in town for a short time. One of the busiest spots, Hennessy's, became a second home for the supporters, but after days of non-stop celebrations, the unimaginable happened. They actually started running out of beer. Managers say they've had to increase deliveries and order far more stock than they ever expected. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear what happened at another popular pub. The Dubliner reportedly went through around 200 kegs of Guinness and Tennent's in just 1 week. That's roughly 16,000 pints.
200 kegs of Guinness in one. Did he say week or weekend? Either way, that's mad.
Happened at another popular pub. The Dubliner reportedly went through around 200 kegs of Guinness and Tennent's in just 1 week. That's roughly 16,000 pints.
Jesus.
16,000. Let that sink in for a second. Most businesses prepared for crowds similar to Boston's famous St. Patrick's Day celebrations. You know, one of the biggest drinking events of the entire year. But according to pub managers, the Scottish fans completely blew those expectations out of the water. In fact, some bars say beer sales have been nearly 3 times higher than what they normally see during a St. Patrick's Day weekend. 3 times. At this point, delivery trucks aren't bringing supplies, they're bringing reinforcements, and the fans don't seem interested in slowing down anytime soon. While the beer companies may be working overtime, local businesses certainly aren't complaining. Pub owners say the atmosphere created by the visiting fans has been incredible. The singing, the laughter, the friendships, and the non-stop celebrations have turned entire neighborhoods into one giant party. And despite the occasional beer shortage scare, bar managers say they're ready for whatever comes next. Although after watching Scottish fans tear through thousands upon thousands of pints, I imagine every pub owner in Boston is checking their inventory every morning and saying the same thing. Are we sure that's enough beer?
Brilliant, I love it. Yeah, no, I'm jealous. I can't believe I'm jealous that I'm not at a World Cup. Never in my life have I been wanting to be at a World Cup as much as I am now. But anyway, if you guys subscribe, I might get over there. one day. That is my plan. But World Cup won't be there again in my bloody lifetime, so it'll be NFL and baseball for me, and definitely rodeo. I definitely want to go and watch a rodeo. Right, yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing and all that good stuff, and enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the World Cup. Enjoy all the Europeans and the rest of the world there. Right. See you later. Bye-bye.